What do you get when you combine the Bean, Chicago Skyline, the Crown Fountains, Broadway musicals, and a free summer concert? You get one unforgettable day and evening in Millennium Park. Welcome back to Chicago Favorites, where we explore the best eats, spots, and secrets the city has to offer. Today, we're heading right into the heart of downtown Chicago to one of the city's most iconic destinations, Millennium Park, located at 201 East Randolph Street. And we're not just here to see the Bean. We're here for Broadway in Chicago's annual summer concert, featuring performances from 13 shows in their upcoming 2026-27 season. And trust me, there's a lot to see here. Millennium Park is very easily accessible by taking the CTA, but if you're bringing your lawn chair and a cooler, it might not be a bad idea to reserve a parking spot directly under Millennium Park. And don't forget to support your local street vendors. Oh my gosh, this watermelon is so good. So let's start with the obvious one, that giant, shiny Chicago celebrity, the Cloud Gate, better known around the world as the Bean. Created by British Indian artist Anish Kapoor, Cloud Gate was unveiled in 2005 and has become one of the most recognizable symbols of Chicago. And there's a reason this thing is so popular. Walk underneath the Bean and suddenly your reflection starts stretching, bending, shrinking, and multiplying. And here's our Chicago Favorites tip. If you're taking a picture, just don't stand anywhere. Walk around the Bean and look for an angle where you can capture yourself and the skyline in the reflection. And don't be shy about asking someone to take your picture. You're in Chicago. We're friendly. Well, most of the time. Now let's head over to another Millennium Park favorite, Crown Fountain. And here's something you might not realize. It's not one fountain. It's actually two enormous towers facing each other on a shallow reflecting pool. The installation was designed by Spanish artist John Plensa, and the towers display enormous video images of Chicago residents. And there's something you may not realize. Wait for it. There it is. Water shoots out of the mouths of the giant faces. During the warmer months, this place becomes one giant Chicago playground. You'll find kids running, screaming, laughing, and trying to figure out exactly when that next face is going to spit water. And then there's this architectural masterpiece, the Jay Pritzker Pavilion, designed by legendary architect Frank Gehry. Just look at this thing. The giant stained glass steel structure looks almost like it's floating above the Great Lawn. It's designed to create an incredible outdoor concert experience with sophisticated sound system that gives the pavilion an indoor theater feel, but with the Chicago skyline and the Bean as your backdrop. Now we're going to quickly run to the car, and well, if you plan on getting there early, you might have to wait a little bit. But there's plenty of time to make some social media. Hello! And welcome. We are currently at Broadway in Chicago's Broadway in the Park, which they do every year, and I gotta tell you, it's incredible. They do a song from every single show for their upcoming 2027 season. And one thing that's great to know is if you are a season subscription holder, you get incredible discounts on seeing like multiple shows, which I highly recommend looking into at BroadwayInChicago.com. I also recommend going to the box office if you want day of tickets. You can sometimes get discounts. I know a lot of people have been successful doing that. And the lottery is also very popular. If you go onto BroadwayInChicago.com, they like reserve the first 2 rows for people who could win the lottery, and they do a raffle, and winner gets to take someone with them. So we love the theater here in Chicago. I'll give you just a little view of everything. This is absolutely one of my favorite things to do. All right, they're starting soon. Food and drink are welcome in the park. However, metal, cutlery, and utensils are strictly prohibited. Please bring plastic utensils for our safety. Well, we brought pizza.
Thank you so much. Hello, Chicago! Wow! You guys are in the house.
One of the performances we were especially excited to see was The Bodyguard. If you remember the iconic Whitney Houston movie, you already know the story. A superstar singer, a dangerous stalker, a former Secret Service agent hired to protect her, and of course, a little romance along the way. The stage musical features some absolutely massive Whitney Houston hits, including I Want to Dance with Somebody, I Have Nothing, Run to You, and of course, I Will Always Love You. And Chicago audiences will have something very special to look forward to. Brooke Bailey, in the flesh, right here, stars as Rachel Marin in Broadway in Chicago's production. Scheduled from April 6, 2027 to April 18, 2027 at the James M. Nederlander Theater. Next up, nobody puts Chicago in a corner. Okay, maybe they don't say that, but I couldn't resist. We're talking about Dirty Dancing the musical. If you grew up loving the 1987 movie, you already know the story. Baby, Johnny, Kellerman's, the dancing, the romance, and that unforgettable soundtrack. Actors Ethan Peterson as Billy Kostecki and Ashley Lalonde as Elizabeth. The stage production brings the beloved story back to life with live theatrical performance, dancing, romance, and many of the songs fans remember from the original film. And Broadway in Chicago has this production coming to the James M. Nederlander Theater September 9th through the 20th. So if you're a Dirty Dancing fan, you're going to want to keep this one on your radar. Again, both of these performers will be in that tour. But there was one special performance tonight that really grabbed my attention. Jekyll and Hyde. And this one has a very special connection to Chicago. It comes from Kokandy Productions, a Chicago theater company that has been making a serious name for itself in the local theater community. Kokandy's home theater is at the Chopin Theater, which is registered in the historical places of Chicago with the fact that the theater is over 100 years old. Their production of Jekyll and Hyde was a huge success. It sold out, it was extended, and it received 10 Jeff Award nominations. Now Broadway in Chicago is bringing that production to Broadway Playhouse at Water Tower Place for the 26-27 season, specifically through September 8th through October 25th of 2026. And that is a big deal for Chicago's independent theater community. This is the kind of story I love covering on Chicago Favorites, because sometimes the really exciting stories aren't just happening on Broadway in New York. They're happening right here in Chicago. If you remember last year in 2025, Best Play for the Tony Awards went to Purpose, which was a show that originated at the Goodman, and it was produced by Felicia Rashad. Things are happening right here in Chicago, and when a locally produced show grows to the point where Broadway in Chicago brings it into its season, that's something worth celebrating. And if you saw our thumbnail, you probably noticed that we wanted to give Kokandy Productions a little extra attention. I've been a huge fan of their work, and it's exciting to see a great Chicago company getting this kind of recognition. And if you're wondering who that powerhouse performer is playing the title role, that's David Moreland, portraying both Dr. Henry Jekyll and Mr. Edward Hyde. And he's joined by Ava Lane Stovall as Lucy Harris and Emily McCormick as Emma Carew. This production is directed by Derek Van Barham, with musical direction by Nick Sulla and choreography by Brenda Dede. And here's another reason the production is worth watching. The Broadway in Chicago engagement follows Kokandy's completely sold-out Chicago run. So if you missed it the first time, you get another chance. Broadway in Chicago's 2026-27 season is packed with productions. The Notebook, The Outsiders, Kokandy's Jekyll and Hyde, Dirty Dancing, Operation Mincemeat, Waitress, Jersey Boys, The Sound of Music, Maybe Happy Ending, The Who's Tommy, The Bodyguard, The Lion King, and Heathers. And one of my favorite parts of the evening happens right after the performances, at the stage door. Pictures, smiles, autographs, and a whole lot of excitement. For theater fans, those little moments can have some of the best memories of the evening. And that's your Millennium Park adventure, from the Bean to the Crown Fountain to the incredible Jay Pritzker Pavilion. Support your theater. We love you guys. Bye. And Broadway in Chicago summer concert. There's a lot to see here. And if you're planning a visit to Chicago, Millennium Park absolutely belongs on your list. If you enjoyed this adventure, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Chicago Favorites. And tell us in the comments, which Broadway show are you most excited to see? Thanks again for joining us on another Chicago Favorites adventure. We'll see you on the next one.